The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was quiet, too quiet for a place that decided the fate of entire worlds. 1,000 voices had filled it just hours ago. Now, only the echo of final words remained. Chancellor Virex Thal stood at the center of the chamber. Tall and silver-skinned, with eyes like cold glass, he wore the flowing robes of Zyran leadership. Behind him, a massive hologram glowed with the seal of the Galactic Union. "All members have cast their votes," he said, his voice smooth, emotionless. "By a majority of 673 to 129, Earth is hereby exiled from the Galactic Union." A red banner lit up across the council wall. One word pulsed over the stars: exiled. The hall fell into silence. The decision was final. Thousands of light years away, on Earth, the message hit like a solar storm. Across every continent, screens flashed the same announcement. In the towers of New Geneva, the domes of Pacifica, and the underground bunkers of the Sahara Block, people stopped to watch. No ships in, no ships out. All trade, diplomacy, and protection from galactic threats cut off. Earth was alone again. Captain Alex Carter stood in the observation deck of Earth High Orbit Command, staring out at the curve of the planet below. His ship, the Eidolon, rested in its dock nearby, a sleek black vessel shaped like a blade of obsidian, hidden from satellite eyes. He didn't blink as the broadcast ended. The words didn't surprise him. "I'll warn them," he muttered. The doors behind him slid open with a soft hiss. General Lorna Malik stepped in, her uniform crisp, her face grim. "You saw it?" she asked. "I saw it," Alex replied. "They made up their minds." General Malik walked beside him, her voice low. "Earth's leaders are meeting now. Some want to appeal. Others want to prepare for war. And you?" Alex asked. "I want to survive," she said. "But we're outmatched, Alex. You know that." He turned to her. "We're not outmatched. We're underestimated." Malik looked at him. "You're thinking about using the Eidolon." "I'm thinking we shouldn't wait around to be boxed in," he said. "You know how this works. First exile, then the blockade, then the slow strangling of everything we've built." Malik didn't answer right away. She looked out the window, down at Earth. "The Council sees us as a threat," she finally said. "Good," Alex replied. "Maybe it's time we stop pretending we aren't." Later that night, Earth's leaders gathered in the Global Assembly. Holograms flickered as diplomats argued. Some pleaded for peace, others blamed each other. Alex didn't join them. Instead, he walked the long corridor beneath the orbital station toward Hangar 19, where the Eidolon was kept in deep silence. Only a few knew the ship even existed. Built in secret, she was designed for stealth, speed, and survival. A ship for last resorts. A ship for moments like this. He stepped into the hangar, ran a hand along the smooth hull, and whispered to the ship like it could hear him. "They want to lock us out of the stars," he said. "We'll show them we don't need a key." Back in the council chamber, Virex stood alone as the other delegates left. He stared at the red banner, then tapped a message into his private console. "Phase 1 complete," he said. "Earth is isolated. Begin fleet mobilization." Quietly, he paused, then added, "They must not interfere with the balance again." On Earth, Alex looked up at the stars. He knew what was coming. Not mercy, not time, not peace, only pressure, and he didn't plan to wait for it. Captain Alex Carter moved quickly through the lower levels of Earth High Orbit Command, where the lights were dim and security cameras rarely worked. Most people didn't even come down here unless they were assigned to cleaning duty or ship maintenance. That's why Alex liked it. No eyes, no questions. He had made his decision. Earth couldn't wait for the Galactic Council to tighten its grip. If humanity sat still, the blockade would come, slowly and quietly. Supply lines would vanish. Communications would be jammed. And then, one by one, the stars would go dark for Earth. So he would act before that happened. The Eidolon waited in Hangar 19, sealed under 5 levels of access. It was the most advanced ship Earth had ever built. Fast, silent, and armed with systems even the Council didn't know existed. Only a handful of people had clearance to board her, and Alex knew exactly who he needed to bring with him. He started with Layla Park, the best pilot he'd ever flown with. She had once crash-landed a dropship on an icy moon while under fire and still managed to get everyone out alive. She was smart, sharp-tongued, and fast. We found her in the orbital mess hall. She was halfway through a bowl of rehydrated stew. "Going somewhere?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "Maybe," Alex said. "I need you on the Eidolon." "Off the books." She put her spoon down. Council's decision just came through. "You planning something stupid?" "Not stupid," he said. "Necessary." She studied him for a moment. Then she nodded. "When do we leave?" Next was Malik Dor, an engineer who didn't trust anyone. Not the military, not the council, not even most humans. But he trusted machines. And he kept the Eidolon running like a dream. Alex found him in the ship's engine bay, surrounded by sparks and humming panels. "You're here early," Malik said without turning around. "I need you ready," Alex said. "We're taking the ship out." Quietly, Malik finally looked at him. "So it's war then?" "No," Alex said. "It's survival." Malik grunted. "Same thing these days." He brought in Rinvier, too, a non-human, once a low-level data tech from a minor alien species called the Ilari. She had defected to Earth years ago after uncovering secrets the Council didn't want leaked. She was quiet, observant, and her mind worked faster than most supercomputers. She met him in a shadowed corridor, having already predicted his arrival. "You're not waiting for their blockade," she said calmly. "No," he replied. "Then I will go with you," she said. "They fear what you might become. That means they fear what you already are." Finally, Ana Torres, a diplomat. She wasn't a soldier, but she was one of the few people who had spent time speaking to the council members face to face. She understood politics, language, and pressure, and she had always believed Earth should stand tall, not bow low. She was hesitant at first. "If we go rogue, we lose what little favor we have left," she warned. Alex didn't flinch. "We don't have any left. Unless seek it. Then I guess it's time to stop pretending." That night, the crew assembled in Hangar 19. No fanfare, no speeches, just a few quick nods and quiet steps. The Eidolon powered up with a deep, smooth hum, no alarms, no flashing lights. She moved like a shadow through space, undetectable to standard sensors. Alex stood at the command chair and looked at the stars ahead. "We're not here to start a war," he said to his crew. "We're here to find out why they fear us, and make sure they never forget who we are." Layla grinned as she took the helm. Course plotted. Rinvier tapped into alien comms frequencies. No signals tracing us. Malik's hands danced over the engine console. "Drive ready." Anna buckled herself into the comms seat. "Let's see who's still willing to listen." Alex nodded. "Then let's move." As the Eidolon slipped out of Earth orbit, Earth's defense satellites remained silent. No alerts were triggered. No protocols were activated. They were ghosts in the void now, moving toward a future no one had written yet. Behind them, Earth slept under stars that no longer welcomed it. Ahead of them, answers waited, and maybe a second chance. The Eidolon moved like a whisper through the dark. It had no bright engines, no blinking lights, and no signature to trace. In deep space, where stars were distant and time felt frozen, the ship was almost invisible. Captain Alex Carter stood at the central console, his eyes fixed on a holographic map hovering in front of him. Tiny blue dots marked friendly systems. Red dots marked hostile territory. Most of the map, though, was gray, unknown, uncharted, or indifferent. Their destination was a quiet system at the edge of Union space. A place called Velis 3, home to a small Galactic Council relay station. No weapons, no heavy guard, just a data hub. It was where routine Council orders passed through on the way to smaller sectors. It was also where secrets might hide in plain sight. Alex leaned over the console. "Distance to Velis 3? 2 hours at current speed," said Layla Park, her fingers dancing over the flight controls. "Any signals?" he asked. "Nothing yet," Rinvier said from her station. Her thin, pale fingers moved with eerie calm as she scanned comms frequencies. "Just background chatter. Automated beacon. No sign they know we're coming." Alex nodded. That was good. For now. They used the time to prepare. In the cargo bay, Malik door opened a crate and pulled out 2 stealth suits, thin, flexible armor that could dampen heat, sound, and even light for a few minutes at a time. Not designed for style, he muttered, handing one to Alex. But it'll keep you alive. Alex smirked. That's all I need. In the planning room, Ana Torres reviewed the station's known layout. Only 8 crew, she said. Mostly technicians. A couple of guards. We get in, download what we need, and get out before they know what happened. They'll know afterward, Alex replied. But they won't catch us, she said. When the Eidolon entered the Velis 3 system, it remained cloaked, silent in the black void. The relay station looked like a floating metal spine, orbiting a dying red star. Small, quiet, and forgettable. Stealth mode holding, Layla said. We're invisible to their scanners. Alex stood behind her. Get us close. 10 kilometers. Then hold position. As the ship approached, Rinvier began blocking outgoing signals from the station. No calls for help, she said. They're deaf and mute now. Malik, suited up and tense, joined Alex near the launch hatch. Ready to move? Alex checked his gear. Always. They left the ship in a small stealth pod, just big enough for 2. As the pod drifted toward the station, Velis 3's dull red light washed over them like blood. Alex watched the station grow closer. It wasn't threatening. It wasn't important, but it held the keys to something much bigger. When they reached the airlock, Malik hacked the controls in seconds. The door hissed open, and they slipped inside. The station was quiet. No alarms. No footsteps. Just the low hum of systems running on autopilot. Inside the data core room, Alex found the central console. Rinvier had prepared a data spike, a slim device that could copy everything in seconds. He plugged it in and watched the screen flood with symbols. Anything useful? Malik asked, standing guard by the door. Plenty, Alex said. Orders, logs, communications between council members. Most of it routine. He paused. But this isn't routine. On the screen were flagged conversations, private messages between top officials. Not just about Earth's exile, about why the decision was pushed so fast. Words like containment, future threat, and human expansion kept appearing. They're afraid of us, Alex said quietly. Not because of what we've done, because of what they think we'll become. Malik grunted. They see us as the next problem. No, Alex said. They see us as the next power. Back on the Eidolon, Rinvier decrypted the files further. She revealed a pattern. Council simulations showing that in 100 years, humans could rival the most advanced races if left unchecked. One report said it clearly. Preventive isolation is necessary. Earth must not be allowed to lead the next age of expansion. Anna sat back in shock. This wasn't about crimes or peace. It was about control. Alex clenched his jaw. They're not protecting the galaxy. They're protecting their seat at the top. He looked at his crew. We're done being quiet. It's time we find others who will listen. If we're going to be exiled, let's be exiled standing. He turned to Layla. Plot a course to Havx. Trade planet. Neutral territory. There are voices there we need to hear. Layla nodded. Coordinates locked. As the ship pulled away from Velis 3, the station remained silent, unaware that its heart had been opened and copied. The Eidolon vanished into the stars again, carrying the truth. Havx was not a beautiful planet. It was busy, loud, and crowded with ships from every corner of the galaxy. Its atmosphere was thick with smog and neon light. Spaceports stretched for miles, stacked high with metal towers and flickering signs in dozens of alien languages. It was a place for deals, legal or not. If the Galactic Union was the law, Havx was the loophole. Captain Alex Carter stood on the deck of the Eidolon as it docked quietly at a private bay on the outskirts of Port Havx. He had removed his uniform. Here, rank didn't matter. In fact, it was better to blend and then stand out. His crew did the same. Layla wore a hooded jacket. Malik carried a hidden tool kit under his coat. Anna and Rinvier had changed into local travel gear. The team exited the ship and moved through the crowded streets. The air was heavy, and strange music echoed from vendors selling hot food and glowing tech. Huge screens above showed Galactic Council propaganda, smiling ambassadors shaking hands, ships bringing peace, and planets unified under order. Alex didn't stop to look. Their destination was a quiet bar tucked between two scrapyards, the Cobalt Nest. Inside, dim lights cast shadows across the room. The air smelled of oil and strong drink. Beings of all shapes and sizes spoke in low voices. Most didn't look up when Alex and his crew entered. At the far corner, a hooded figure sat alone, sipping a green drink that steamed in the glass. Alex walked over and sat across from him. Anna, Rinvier, and Layla took seats nearby. Malik stayed near the door. The hooded figure pulled back his hood. His face was lined with age, but his eyes were sharp. "Captain Carter," he said, his voice smooth. "I was told you wouldn't wait for Exile." "I don't wait for chains," Alex said. "We need to talk." The man's name was Varen Kaur, a neutral ambassador who once worked closely with mid-level council members. He had left the Union 5 years ago after seeing too much. "You've come for allies," Varen said. "I've come for truth," Alex replied. "And maybe someone who still believes in it." Varen leaned forward. "You already know why Earth was exiled." "We've seen the files," Anna said. "They fear humanity will rise." "And they're right," Varen said. "Your kind adapts fast, builds faster. You fight hard and heal harder. You don't follow the rules. That terrifies them." "But we haven't done anything wrong," Layla said. "Fear doesn't wait for wrongdoing," Varen replied. "It only needs a reason." Alex placed a small projector on the table. It displayed council messages and future simulations, the same ones they pulled from Velis 3. "I want others to see this," he said. "But we need voices beyond Earth to speak with us." Varen nodded slowly. "There are some who would listen. Smaller systems. Marginal species tired of the Council's power. But they're scattered. Weak. Most would never speak out, unless someone forced the Council to listen." Alex's eyes narrowed. "So they're waiting for a spark." "More like a match dropped in a dry forest," Varen said. Rinvier finally spoke. "We cannot win with fire alone. Fear burns both sides." Varen looked at her with quiet respect. "True. That's why you need both fire and light." He slid a small data chip across the table. "What's this?" Alex asked. "Council fleet movements, patrol schedules, strategic gaps. If you plan to act, you'll need to stay invisible." Alex took the chip and pocketed it. "Why help us?" Varen smiled faintly. "Because the Council needs to remember what they've forgotten. No species stays on top forever." As they left the bar, Malik stepped in close to Alex. "We just painted a target on our backs," he said. "We already had one," Alex replied. "Now we're aiming back." Outside, the crew returned to the Eidolon and prepared for launch. The sky above Havex glowed with the lights of arriving ships, but none saw them leave. The stealth systems held strong. In the command room, Anna reviewed the new data. "There's a weak point near the outer rim," she said. "A small fleet is preparing to enforce the blockade. We have a window. If we hit them before they reach Earth, we can expose the truth while it still matters." Alex stood over the map of stars. "Then we intercept. We show them Earth doesn't kneel. We act now, before it's too late." He looked at his crew, each one ready, each one knowing the risks. They didn't argue. They launched. Far away, on Zero's Prime, Chancellor Virex stood before a council window. An aide entered, nervous. "Chancellor," she said, "we've lost contact with the Velis 3 relay. And there are rumors that the Eidolon has gone rogue." Virex didn't turn. He stared into the stars. "Begin quiet fleet deployment," he said. "If they want to make noise, let them. We'll silence it." But Alex wasn't planning to be silent. He was planning to be heard. The stars ahead of the Eidolon were cold and silent. They were nearing the edge of Council space now, heading toward a thin stretch of empty black where the Council's enforcement fleet had quietly gathered. There were no warning beacons, no public statements. Just ships moving into position, ready to seal Earth off from the galaxy. Alex Carter stood in the command center, arms crossed, watching the fleet markers appear one by one on the holomap. "There," said Ana Torres, pointing to a blinking red arc, 3 light cruisers, 2 patrol frigates, and a command vessel. All Union standard. "And no one's talking about it," Alex said. "They're hoping Earth doesn't notice until it's too late. They want to box us in, said Malik, hunched over the tactical console. Strangle us slow. But we're here first, Layla added. We can hit them before they lock position. Alex nodded. We won't win in a firefight. But we don't need to. We just need to be loud. The Eidolon approached the fleet's outer edge under full stealth. RINVA worked quickly, jamming their short-range sensors and blocking internal comms between ships. The Council fleet didn't know they were already being watched. Alex leaned over her station. Can we patch into their internal network? RINVA gave a quiet nod. I will need proximity. Close. Too close. Alex didn't hesitate. Then we go close. Layla brought the Eidolon within a kilometer of the command vessel, VCS Sentry Prime. The ship hovered like a silent predator in space, its gray hull lined with blue energy lights. Hundreds of crew worked inside, unaware that a ghost ship had crept up behind them. Deploying infiltration drone, Malik said. A small, black device detached from the Eidolon and latched onto the enemy ship's outer surface. RINVA's eyes glowed faintly as she tapped into the drone's feed. I am in. Within minutes, she cracked the command vessel's secure channel. A live transmission blinked to life. There, on the screen, stood Chancellor Virexthal. Alex didn't wait. Chancellor. Virex's face remained calm. Captain Carter, I had a feeling you wouldn't stay silent. You're preparing a blockade against Earth, Alex said. Without declaring war. Without facing us directly. We are enforcing the Council's decision, Virex replied. You were exiled. The rest is process. You're choking a world, Alex growled. Because it refused to stay small. Virex blinked slowly. Because it refused to follow rules. Your species expands fast. Builds weapons faster. You evolve through conflict. That makes you unstable. It makes us human, Alex said. And it makes us a threat only if we're pushed. Virex's voice turned sharp. You left your post. You stole a warship. You're tampering with Council systems. You've become the very proof of our concerns. Alex's eyes narrowed. No, I've become the reminder that Earth doesn't bow. He gave a sharp signal. Malik tapped a command. The file stolen from Velis. 3. Council plans, fear-driven predictions, private messages began broadcasting across open Union channels. Every listening station, every nearby ship, every relay caught the signal. Within seconds, truth was out. Across the stars, captains paused. Pilots listened. Minor planets began receiving messages they weren't supposed to see. On one of the Council patrol frigates, a Zentar officer looked at her commander. Is this real? Her commander stared at the screen and said nothing. Back aboard the Sentry Prime, Virex's calm broke. His voice rose. You've endangered the balance of the galaxy, Carter. No, Alex said. You did at the moment you treated fear like justice. Virex cut the feed. Multiple ships, powering weapons, Layla said quickly. They're locking onto us. Time to go, Alex ordered. Hard break now. The Eidolon swung into motion. Bright streaks of energy lit up the dark as the Council fleet fired. The stealth ship twisted through them, ducking between blind spots and escape vectors. RINVA kept jamming their signals. Malik dumped energy bursts to fake debris trails. Engines at full, Layla shouted. But they're closing. Alex leaned forward. Then we hit back. He opened a weapons panel, just one button. A targeted EMP blast. The Eidolon released it, and a wide blue pulse rippled across space. The closest enemy ship flickered, its systems shut down, drifting. A second ship spun off course. We got a gap, Layla yelled, punching through. The Eidolon roared out of the trap, engines burning hot. When they reached safe distance, Anna finally let out her breath. It's out there now. The whole galaxy saw. Alex looked at her, his voice steady. Then now, they'll have to choose. Stand with fear, or stand with us. The stars ahead looked different now. Not just cold, not just distant, but waiting. The Eidolon floated in deep space, silent and scarred. The ship's hull showed signs of stress. The power cores had taken a hit during the escape. Sparks had flown in the engine bay. Alarms had buzzed through every corridor. But the ship had survived. So had the truth. Now, the crew gathered in the command center. The lights were dim. The room was quiet, except for the soft hum of machinery and the occasional beeping from Renvier's console. Alex stood at the center of it all, still in his dark jacket, eyes on the stars. "We did it," Anna said finally. The transmission went out. Council eyes are exposed. "Yes," Alex said. "But now they'll come for us with everything they've got." Malik leaned against the wall, rubbing his shoulder. "Let them come. We've already lit the fire. Others will see it. They'll try to bury it," Layla said. "Cut comms, twist the story, blame us." "They can try," Renvier said softly. "But light travels fast. Across the galaxy, things are already shifting. On fringe worlds, local leaders replayed the broadcast. Some were shocked. Others were not surprised at all. Several alien species, long ignored by the Council, began sending quiet messages to Earth's old channels. Not all were supportive, but many asked the same thing. What happens now? The Council's tight grip had cracked. Not shattered, but weakened. On Zero's Prime, Chancellor Virex Thal stood in his private chambers, a storm of reports flashing across his console. The Eidolon had escaped. The broadcast had gone viral. The enforcement fleet's actions were being questioned. He stared into the screen, his jaw tight. "They won't stop," he said. His aide shifted uncomfortably. "What do we do?" Virex gave the order coldly. "Send the full fleet. No more warnings. Silence them." Back on the Eidolon, the crew didn't need sensors to know what was coming. Renvier's scans picked up movement. 17 Council ships heading straight for them. "Intercept in 40 minutes, she said calmly. "Too many to outrun. Too strong to outfight." Alex didn't flinch. "Then we don't run. We make this the moment they can't ignore." Anna looked at him. "This is suicide." "No," he said. "This is the line." He turned to the crew. "We hold here. We broadcast again. Loud. While they watch. If we fall on our terms, with every system hearing why." Layla nodded, her voice steady. "Let's give them a show." They prepared fast. Anna crafted a second message. Short, direct, clear. Malik rerouted backup power to the transmitters. Renvier opened wideband channels. "Everything is ready," she said. "They will hear it." Alex took the mic. He didn't prepare a speech. He didn't need one. "This is Captain Alex Carter," he said. "Of Earth. Of the Eidolon. We are not invaders. We are not rebels. We are a voice. One that will not be silenced. They try to exile us. To erase us. But we're still here. And we're not begging for a seat. We're building our own. To every world listening. Ask yourself, if they fear us now, what do they fear about you?" Then he cut the feed. Moments later, the enemy arrived. 17 ships. Walls of gray metal and blue energy. Engines burning bright. Weapons glowing. "They're locking weapons," Layla said. "Let them," Alex replied. The Eidolon fired first, not to destroy, but to blind. Malik launched flares and EMP pulses, scattering their sensor signals. Then the ship dove, spinning hard, engines flaring. They weaved between capital ships, disrupting their formations. Renvier jammed half their comms. Anna sent bursts of the transmission directly into their command channels. The sky lit up with beams and fire. The Eidolon shook for blasts. A panel burst in sparks. Malik fell, then pushed himself back up. "We lost rear shielding," he shouted. "Redirect power," Alex ordered. A pulse cannon from a cruiser scraped the hull, sending the ship tumbling. But still they fought. Not to win. To be seen. Then silence. Renvier looked up. "They've stopped firing." "What?" Alex asked. She showed the screen. 3 of the Council ships had gone dark. One turned away. 2 others paused their weapons systems. A voice came through comms. Not Council command, but a Zentaur captain, one of the outer colonies. "We will not fire on those who speak truth," she said. "We refuse." Other ships began to slow. Confusion spread. Not victory, but hesitation. Alex watched the shift happen. The Council still had power, but now it no longer had full control. The Eidolon was battered, its hull torn, its crew bruised, but it had done what it came to do. It had shown the galaxy something real, and no one could unsee it. "Status?" Alex asked. "Engines damaged, but holding," Malik said. "Transmitters still active," Anna added. Renvier looked at the screen. Some ships are leaving. Alex leaned back in his seat, blood on his sleeve, fire in his eyes. We just cracked the wall, he said. The Eidolon drifted in the quiet void, its hull scorched and fractured, but its lights still glowing. Smoke curled from broken panels. Sparks blinked from damaged circuits. Yet the heart of the ship beat steady. The crew, wounded, tired, but alive, remained at their stations. Captain Alex Carter stood at the observation window, staring at the thinning formation of Council ships in the distance. Some still hovered. Others had turned away. Not one had fired again. They don't know what to do with us, Anna said softly from behind him. They're afraid, Alex replied. Not of our weapons, of our voice. Reports started to flow in through back channels. Independent worlds were sharing the Eidolon's broadcast. In the dense trade sectors, markets halted as people watched replays of Alex's speech. On forgotten planets ruled by old council contracts, small groups were questioning long-standing rules. Some asked if Earth had gone too far. Many asked why it was punished for daring to rise. For the first time, Earth wasn't silent in the council's shadow. It had spoken back, and others had listened. On Zero's Prime, Chancellor Virex Thal sat at the end of a long meeting table. Around him, silent delegates read updates from systems all over the Union. The public is confused, one delegate said. Some demand answers. Others demand we bring Earth back, said another, disgusted. We will do neither, Virex said sharply. Earth has made its choice. But Chancellor, said a quiet voice, so have we. The council chamber, once filled with firm control, now echoed with uncertainty. Virex remained still, but his grip on the Union had weakened. A crack had formed, and it would not be easily sealed. Back aboard the Eidolon, Malik worked in the engine bay, patching leaks and wiring power manually. He hummed a broken tune under his breath. Layla sat near the helm, bandage across her brow. Ship can still fly, she said. Just don't ask her to dance. Anna walked in with a fresh report. We've received 2 new transmissions. One from a neutral colony offering repairs. Another from a fringe system asking to speak with us. Alex listened in silence, then nodded. We've become something they can't ignore. Not an enemy, not a friend, just undeniable. Renvier looked up from her console. Earth is no longer waiting for approval. No, Alex said. We're moving forward, on our own terms. They set a slow course back toward Earth. Not because they had lost, but because they had delivered the message. The Council had exiled them, but Earth had not broken. In orbit, Earth's defense systems picked up the Eidolon signal. Cheers broke out in control rooms. News spread like wildfire. They made it. They fought back. When the ship descended toward the upper atmosphere, battered and silent, the planet below seemed to shine brighter. Alex stood on the deck, watching blue and green return through the ship's windows. Earth, flawed and scarred, still stood proud. He turned to his crew. We didn't stop the Council, he said. No, Anna agreed. But we made them pause. We made them think, Malik added. And that's the beginning of change, Renvier said. Layla smiled. So what now? Alex looked out at the sky, eyes calm, shoulders straight. Now we build, he said, not in the shadow of their council, but in the light of our own voice. The Eidolon landed in a quiet dock. No crowds, no speeches, just the still hum of engines cooling and tired boots stepping onto metal floors. But across the stars, something had changed. A spark had caught, and the fire would not be snuffed out.